300, finally turned up, 6-month wait. I love it. I'm going to talk a little bit about it now. So why did I get it? So I spent in 2019, I spent a lot of time out in Kazakhstan on the launch film for the new Defender, and then I also spent quite a lot of time on second unit on the new Bond movie, where when it comes out you'll see the new Defender features in it quite a lot. So that got me really hooked on the vehicle, and had a Defender years ago. I also had a Range Rover Vogue a few years ago as well. Didn't really suit me. Getting out of a Range Rover Vogue in a pair of Crocs and tracky bottoms isn't really me. So it went back, and also for a number of other reasons as well. But this has been very eagerly awaited, and I love it. And I'm going to now give you a little talk through about it, all the sort of kit on it, what it does, what I like, what I don't like, and a bit more of a chat about it. So this is the new L663, as the code name for it is, Defender. This is the Defender X, which is the top spec one. You can get other specs of it. By the time you add all the bits on, you might as well just get the Defender X. So what are the extras on the X? Well, for a start, things like different tail lights, a lot of gloss black trim. You can get a lot of extras on the inside as well. All the extra bits that you have for the terrain response, etc., all come on the X, which is why I just went straight for the X. The other thing is, you can see here, you get these really nice metallic effect front and rear bumpers on it as well, which look great. And it just looks a hell of a lot better than the normal one. The normal one looks great. This one looks awesome, in my opinion. Not a massive amount of colours available, sadly, from Land Rover. This is the Eiger Grey, which I really like. You can get a satin wrap for it, which makes it look really sort of like metallic-y and like almost like a DeLorean, like the aluminium you get on a DeLorean. I was going to get that, but now I've got this one, I'm not, because I love it the way it is. Obviously, I went for the roof rails on it as well. There's an option called Signature Black, which is where this here, they call the Signature panel, is normally in the vehicle colour, as is this. On the 2021 model year one, this is also done in gloss black as well, which is great. So it's just a really nice option. It makes the top look all really dark. As it comes down, it then goes down to the body colour underneath. Loads of spec on the headlights. As I say, I've only had it, well, less than a day now, so I don't really know too much about it. So this review is going to be quite just really of what I've understood so far. Obviously, you get the much bigger brakes on the Defender X as well. The options I went for on this, I also went for the undershield on the bottom, which you can see there. And I also went for the rear, obviously this is the rear spare wheel cover. They don't currently have them in stock at Land Rover, but I found a place online that was selling for half the price, and I had it painted in the same colour as the vehicle, which I think looks really cool. You can get these done in the same colour as the brakes if you want. I left them in black. I think that they look just quite sort of like dark and mysterious and sort of like tough in black, hence why I left it that way. I've also got on this another little cool option, which I'll show you. I'll show you in the boot first. So obviously, it's not a massive boot. You get this little tonneau cover to go over the top. For the sort of kit that I carry around, it suits me, but it's not the biggest of boots. However, it more than does what it needs to. Next bit, this is really cool. As you see, there's no tow bar. It looks nice and smooth. However, when we press this, check this out. How cool does that look? These are the upgraded wheels. These are the 595 wheels, I think they call them, 20 inch. Sadly, you can't get the all-terrain tyre option on these, but the normal tyres are okay. I haven't taken it off-road yet. However, I have seen these off-road an awful lot around the world, and they're pretty fantastic. But with the extra all-terrain tyres, it will be even better. Really nice. On the Defender X, you get the gloss black bonnet, which I think looks really well with everything gloss black going up over the top. Just sets it off really nicely. And harking back to the original Defender, you've got the checker plate on the top here. Simple things like this as well. It's very similar to the old school Defenders that had the section there that joined the front panel to the windscreen panel. Things like the nice square rear view mirrors, the grille that you get here is all very old Defender as well. As we move around, this shape and this separate panel, for those of you that have had a Defender, you'll recognise that shape as well. the whole rear of it coming down, really flush, goes back to that design, and the spare wheel on the back as well. So, interior, what's it like? Well, interior, what's it like? It's amazing. So, when I had my Range Rover, it was so nice inside, but as I say, didn't really fit in with the sort of person that I am. This, though, has all the luxury of that, but it's just got this ruggedness to it as well, which really, really works. And I'm going to go through some of the things you get on the inside of it now as well. Obviously, the newer version, this is the Defender X. It has all the black interior, black roof lining, black panels here. Everything is black on it, which looks really, really cool. You get the cool doors as well that have got the body panel here and the rivets around the outside. Just adds to that effect to it. When we look into the rear as well, you see it's got that same effect in the back. And as with the old Defender, although I've got the carpet mats in it, as you see, they can all come out, and it's just all plastic underneath, and the whole thing is designed to be washed out with a hose pipe if you need to. So you can get, if you do get it covered in mud and dirty inside, you've got that. Another option on the Defender is this panel here. You can have this done in black. This is actual part of the structure of the vehicle, and I had it done in black to kind of fit in with that design to it. The awesome thing about the new Defender, though, is what they call the PV Pro system, and I'll go through that with you now. It's all massively new to me, so bear with me. I'll go through what I've learned about it in, I'd say, less than 24 hours since I've had it. So to turn it on, as always, push button start. This is very similar. I used to have a VW Transporter, and it's the same sort of feel where you've got this nice little sort of like joystick here for the gear change, and that's great. The rest of it, a fridge in there, which is pretty cool. And you've got this really useful sort of like section down here to just dunk stuff in, and obviously a place under there for drinks. You've also got USB-C, which is quite modern. Normal USB and normal cigarette lighter. Through here, we can do things like we can lower the vehicle, we can go to terrain response settings. That's a huge subject. That's definitely for another time. Different types of aircon. One of the upgrades I got on this is 3-zone. So you can have one type of temperature here, one temperature here, and then another temperature in the boot. So if you have a dog and it's a sunny day and you've got your dog crate in the boot, the dog can be in the back and kept really nice and cool, which is ideal. Other options, obviously you've got, you know, rapid demist, you've got auto stop start. This is the MHEV system, so it's not a plug-in hybrid, it's a mild hybrid. It's not as great as some of the plug-in hybrids that I've seen, but it's pretty good, and it kind of does save on fuel efficiency a little bit. Also, one really cool option I definitely wanted on this, something which I saw when I first started driving, it was I was driving a Discovery out in northern Sweden, actually at Land Rover's test track, and it had head-up display. So I was like, from that time, I always wanted the vehicle head-up display. Finally, here I am, and you can just see it there, head-up display, hovering on the glass, which is really, really cool. So whenever you drive along in front of you, you can always see what you're doing. If you break the speed limit, it even tells you as well. Obviously change gear, put it into gear, you'll see it now goes into D, park, goes into park. Pretty cool. With most quite high spec vehicles now, you can have full Google Maps on the screen. Various types of settings you can have here. I like to just have it all Google Maps, and there's my speed up in front of me here. The actual PV Pro system, really nice big screen. Pretty in-depth how it all works. There's loads of stuff on YouTube by people that are real experts in it, know a lot more about it than me. I'm just going to tell you what I think the coolest thing ever is. Click onto that, go to camera, and you've got this. And you can actually look at different views around the vehicle, which is pretty phenomenal, isn't it? So if you're reversing, for example, put it into reverse. I'm going to set this setting here. And obviously there's the view I've got outside. Big shout out to Nick, DMC, Detail My Car. But yeah, you've got this area here, which is that area there. So I turn the steering wheel, look, it actually shows the vehicle moving into that area, which is just nuts, isn't it? how it's all done with all the camera systems, I don't know, but I'm very, very impressed. There's also a setting in here when you go off-road, for example here, the off-road setting. What is really cool is, I need to work it out properly, but there is a setting where the front camera records and then delays the feed to it and actually shows you what's underneath the vehicle. So as you're driving, you can actually see what you're driving over underneath, which is pretty impressive. As I say, all of the extra settings, loads of stuff on YouTube. Have a look through that because people on there know a lot more about it than I do. But yeah, that is the setting. I have it all set in dark mode as well, which I think just looks a lot more cooler. Various types of settings, loads of stuff you can go into, climate control, low traction launch. As they off-road, these things are phenomenal. I've got my parking hooked up to it as well. But yeah, that is that. I've also got the Meridian Pro sound system in here. I've not even turned the stereo on actually yet. So that's something for me to look forward to. But yeah, that should hopefully give you an idea of all the settings. Obviously we've got full cruise control all set up here. Here we can scroll through, click on things, go through all different settings, head-up display. It's all done through here. I'm going to press this button, it all obviously goes back to the original settings. These actually illuminate on there. There's your volume control as well. Very, very cool. What's it like to drive? I've only done 50 miles in it now. So in the first 50 miles, what's my thoughts? It is very, very nice. It feels like a much smaller vehicle than what it is. When you think the size of it and the way it handles, it shouldn't handle the way it does, but it just does. It just works. This is a custom built chassis by Jaguar Land Rover. This isn't a Discovery with a body kit on it. This was built specifically for this, using all of their experience over the years, and it just works. It works so, so good. It is such a nice vehicle to be in. I cannot wait for a long journey in it. The only downside I've got to it, and a few people have said this, and now I've got one, I do agree, there is some wind noise around the windscreen. I paid an extra 240 quid for the solar attenuating windscreen, which should have made things a bit more quieter. It also keeps the UV light down coming into it as well. And there is a bit of noise around the windscreen, but you know, there could be worse problems to have in a vehicle, couldn't there? Otherwise, it drives absolutely amazing. The new vehicles like this one have the D300 engine. It's diesel. I think it's like 470 foot-pounds of torque, 300 horsepower. It's the torque that is impressive on this. I test drove a 240 and it was okay. The D300 is so much better, so much torque, just pulls and pulls. Again, it feels like it's a much smaller vehicle of that sort of performance. I know there's the new 525 horsepower V8 that's just come out, the petrol. The fuel economy on that is going to be shocking, hence why, even though that came out, I thought, you know what, I made the right choice choosing this one. I think this does around 20-25 miles per gallon, which kind of works for me. More than happy with that. But yeah, that's basically you know, a heads up on what I found about the vehicle, what I think about it. Do I love it? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and it was well worth the wait. I am well chuffed with it. Oh, one other thing, I forgot to show you this. So here's a rear view mirror. You know, you can see the headrests, okay? But watch this. There's a camera on the roof that actually shows you the view from the rear view mirror on the roof. Love it. How cool is that? But yeah, back to my final thoughts on it. It's really cool. I do love it. It's chunky, it's robust, it's luxurious. It's just, I just want to get in it and just drive to Scotland and back. Yeah, really, really impressed with it. And for me, it was quite a big thing buying this. Not just because it was getting a new vehicle, but because of, you know, 2019, my whole year was spent working with Defender. I was there the first day it was out the factory without the covers on it, where it was just like unveiled for some press shots. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, it's different. My initial thoughts on it, I thought, wow, it looks like a Skoda Yeti that's been jacked up. But luckily that's kind of gone now. And I now appreciate the looks and the kind of the throwbacks to the original Defender and how that looked. But yeah, loving it. Can't wait to put some miles on it. Hope you like the review. And yeah, what would I give it out of 10? At the moment, it's a 10 out of 10. I can't fault it. It's just fantastic. So yeah, hope you enjoy it.